Basically every other month something will blow up at Twitch. Always. I remember actually one thing that I did like that they did. They made it said you don't have to be affiliate to get payouts anymore. There's just a dollar threshold that you have to hit. And they did that. And I was like, oh, that's nice for like the people that stream really infrequently and just their friends watch and they're not really going for affiliate. Like, that's pretty cool. And then when they did that, so many people were like, oh, so what? So my affiliate status doesn't matter anymore? Oh, so you're devaluing my affiliate status. And I was like, brother, just let the people that stream to 2 people have their $50 every 5 months. I was like, there's not that many people that are gonna be subbing to them, you know, if they're staying tiny streamers. They're just doing this for friends or something. Like, it's fine. It's fine. I don't know. They've done other stuff that I haven't liked, but that one I actually thought was good and people were freaking out. I remember that, yeah, partners were mad when they gave affiliates more emote slots. I remember that too. I get it, like why they feel negatively about it for the first 10 seconds. The first thing that comes to mind, if you're like partnered and you work so hard to get there and then you get your partner benefits, which aren't much, not a lot of benefits, just some. And one of the few is all your emote slots, right? So you make it, you get your badge and you get your emote slots and you're like, oh my God, yay, right? And then the first thing that comes to mind when you see that affiliates now also get some more emotes too is you're like, but I worked hard for that. That thought of the but should last a few seconds and then you immediately go, oh, that's nice though, because it is nice and because it's not harming you. That's all. It's not harming you. It's fine. But no, there's so many people that were like crashing out on Twitter and they were like, what about me? And I'm like, you're doing great, pal. You're partnered. You're doing great. You're gonna be okay. Like, I don't know, man. I was just glad that more of my friends that were stuck in like the 10 emote only hell were not stuck in that. I am a proponent of the phrase, a rising tide lifts all boats, okay? Because it does. That's it. That's how it is. When people are doing well on this platform and they're advertising out to other platforms and they're bringing more people here, yay, everyone wins. There will be some times, yes, there will be some times where one community, a lot of their people move over to another. That does happen. But do better, be better. That's all I can say. Do better, be better, and understand that overall, most people benefit from these situations, okay? It's just how it is. It's how it goes, man. A Twitch career, especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck, is really volatile, so it makes sense to be touchy and overreact when there's threat to the balance you manage to build. Yeah, I get that. I think that is a very true statement. At the same time, if they have a Twitch career and they're living paycheck to paycheck off of it, they shouldn't only have a Twitch career because it is volatile. That's my thought. Personally, I think if you are at that point where you're making that your career, but you don't have a nest egg saved up to like try and float yourself for some time while you try to make this work and see if it grows, you know, or you're not like already doing well enough where you can quit your job and you're beyond living paycheck to paycheck on it, you shouldn't be doing it, you know, if you're not at those points. It's a little crazy. Yeah, exactly what you said, Beard. Beard, that was my intent when I started streaming too. I was like, this is gonna be a hobby and if it makes me money, it's just gonna be extra, but I'm gonna keep my job because I had a great tech job and I was like, yeah, I'll just do this forever. And the only reason I didn't, as I've said a billion times, is because I literally got cancer, right? Like I had a major health problem and I was like, ooh, I should not really worry about that career so much. Streaming at that point was doing well for me. I was a 1K Andy, so I was like, it makes me enough money that I can like live off of it, or at least pay my main and then you know, we'll see what happens. If it weren't for that, I would not have quit my great job, you know, to be honest, even though I was doing really well, just because it was volatile and I was like, I don't see the point. And then, you know, once I made this my main job, I really liked it, so I've stuck with it since and it's worked out. But you know, I was doing by all metrics pretty well and I still wasn't quitting my job because my job was just better. It was just better, like financially, you know. So I think people kind of pull the trigger too early on like quitting their jobs and trying this out. And it's one thing if you want to quit your job to get a different one later, or if you're like, I just want to try it for 6 months and see if me putting all of my time into it has it grow and I feel like I can continue with it. There's nothing wrong with trying that. But some people do that and they're doing that for like 2 years. And I'm like, all right, what's the trial period here? You know, like you're doing yourself a disservice at that point, right? Can you still go back to your old job? Not to brag, my resume is really good. Yeah, I could go and get a job like anywhere if I needed to. If this didn't work out, I'm really lucky that no, I'm not lucky. I did that, but like I'm in a great position, right? Where I could just go and get a good job again easy if I really needed to, which is good. Like I know I have that stability available to me if I needed it, but I like doing this. One day I'll use my connections to find a job, but until then I'm gonna keep grinding on hard mode by cold applying. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too. Like I met so many people through all the work that I did that if I wanted to work at a specific place, I could probably, like for a lot of them, I could probably ask and just be like, hey, I'm back. I'm looking for work. And you know, I'd probably get something. I'm good though. Some of the places I worked at or clients I worked for, I never want to touch again with a 10-foot pole I'm so good right where I am. No matter what happens on Twitter, no matter what's going on in this community, it is peanuts. It is nothing compared to some of the other that I had to deal with on the other side. I'm good, okay? I'm all right here. So kind of part of why I stuck with it too. I was like, wow, this is actually not as emotionally distressing. This is great. I had one client many years ago. We did a project for them, handed this project over at the MVP, okay? The MVP stage, which is the minimum viable product rather. Typically, the minimum viable product is the baseline, it just barely functions, it just works version, okay? But there's still so much work to be done to make it good after that. Yeah, the bones, right? The structure, it exists, but it doesn't look good yet. It doesn't feel good to use yet. There's so much change you want to make, etc. It's just functioning for the first time, and you're putting it in front of them to be like, does it function or is it not doing what you want at all? Did we get this right? And we had a client take it and look at how much we were billing hourly and how we basically spent half the time getting it to that stage, and we're gonna spend another of the same amount of time beyond that to get it to like good where it needed to be, what we agreed upon. And they were like, I think I want to stop the project right here, and I'm going to hire my own in-house team to finish this up to that point. And we were like, okay. They spent all that money, called us back a year later, and we're like, so that product, remember that? Remember that project you did for us? And they were like, it's all gone tits up. It's all gone. And we looked it over, and they basically had someone come in and try to finish it, but they went back and changed a lot of that we put in there that was good, that didn't need changing or shouldn't have been changed. And it was just up. It just didn't even function right anymore. It looked good though. It looked good. Like design-wise, it looked so pretty, but it didn't work well. So we went in and we scrapped every bit of work they did. Everything. Even the changes they made to the base product. We just took our old base product and started from there and just did the stuff they were supposed to have us do from the start anyway. And you know, that's just how it goes, man. And scenarios like that are just so, I mean, it's more work, so it's great, but it was so frustrating to deal with that it just makes me really like streaming a lot more than, you know, working on projects where like that happens. You know what I mean? Streaming, I'm just doing my own thing. I'm making my own thing. And I have to deal with other people getting in the way of it way less. So, you know, I have a good time with it. I really loved the work that I did. It was really certain clients, certain projects that I didn't like. Like overall, I still enjoyed what I was doing and had a good time with it. I like this more, but I don't dislike that. The problem was there were certain projects and certain clients that I would do anything to never deal with ever again. So yeah, I have a good time here.